No, you do a dangerous stunt. You kind of you went straight for the when Thomas and Clifton jump through the wall. What you don't see is how they do that effect. On the other side, there is a steel trap, which opens like so. And you can I've heard the story, but you can correct me if this is not true.
Yeah.
But the special effects guy said, like 3, 2, 1, go. Go on, go. Don't go on 3. Don't go on 2.
That's how it usually goes. Yeah, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, go is what you should do on Not to Get Killed. What number did you go on, Thomas?
3.
Yeah. So when you see that scene and you think that Thomas jumps gets into the room a lot earlier than Clifton, that's because Thomas Jane is hard as nails.
I just knew that I'd be first through the wall if I went on 3.
Clifton, you have a story about showing the film to Adam Duritz from The Counter Crows. Can you relate this to us?
I was doing this independent in New York and for very little money, and I didn't want to spend my earnings on my hotel room. So I asked Adam, I said, Adam, let me crash for you. He said, look, crash at my place and maybe you can shoot a video for me or whatever. I said, okay, great. So I show up there and he decides to have a movie night. He has a bunch of movies. One of them's Scott Pilgrim. I'm like, yeah, man. I said, you seen this movie? He says, yeah. And I look at him. He's looking at me. He's like, what? I'm like, you saw this movie? He goes, yeah. He's like, all right. See the whole thing? I said, no. Man, there's this dope part where the cops are coming No, man. I said, but don't tell me, man, because we're all going to watch it tonight. I said, if you get up early enough, we'll all watch it, a whole bunch of people. I said, great. So then, sure enough, he stops right before that scene. So then suddenly it's like magic, except it's not like magic. It really is magic. I appear in the next scene. Holy shit, man. Next scene, how'd you do that? So then the next night he was watching The Wizard of Oz, and he's like, I wonder where you're going to appear this time.
Thomas, do you remember what you did on rack of the film and what text you sent me the next day?
No.
It's a good one. Can I remind you? This is a good one. Thomas left the set in his vegan cop uniform.
Well, no, I had to sign something. I had to sign this thing in my trailer on the last day, like, you will not speak about the film, say anything about the film, steal any props from the film. And I was like, props from the film? So, of course, I could not, I was like, well, somebody obviously is going to want to steal this vegan police t-shirt. I better take it with me.
You sent me the funniest text the next day from the plane. I got this text saying, Edgar, it's TJ, I'm on the plane, I have the vegan cop shirt. If you cut me out of the film, it's going on eBay. Otherwise, I'll see you at the premiere wearing it. How could I cut you out of this film?
Insurance, baby.
What else? Do we have any? One thing before we open it up to the crowd and stuff, I'd like to ask, in the spirit of the season I'm doing, movies I've never seen, I'd like to ask everybody on stage what is the most famous movie they've never seen. You can confess all. I'll start. I've already said this once and I've Gone with the Wind. It's out there.
Freddy Got Fingered. Just tune in up. Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh no! If you said that at the New Art, you would get lynched.
Cannibal the Musical.
That's not famous enough.
Right? Okay, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead.
Still too indie.
The Green Door.
I have also not seen Gone with the Wind, which is bad for me because I love films of that era, so I need to see it. I've also not seen The Abyss, which a lot of people keep telling me I have to see.
Two very similar films.
I know.
Rebel Without a Cause. That's why I'm still a nerd.
I literally just started watching Wet Hot American Summer like 2 nights ago. It's so good. And I also have never seen The Blues Brothers.
Oh! You'll love it.
Dis.
Okay, without the spoil, there were only 3 people. We won't do any spoilers for people who haven't seen it. But do people have questions for us before we start, but we'll get the show on the road. Any questions? Nope? Okay. This man.
How much damage you take during your fight scene?
Did we have a fight scene?
Well, we
No,
high
that's
five.
Mary.
Oh, Mary.
There's a microphone under Thomas's thigh.
Thomas, you got the mic.
How much damage? Like, did I, like, injuries or that kind of thing? A lot. It was pretty much a walking bruise. But it was fun. It really felt, we all felt really tough and much tougher than we normally felt as our usual selves. I felt like kind of a soldier, you know, and so I definitely took it as, you know, a pride thing. And I didn't really feel too bad about it. I was kind of excited every time I would get hurt, you know. It's like, I'm working harder, yeah. So yeah, I ended up with a lot of injuries, but I'm good now. I'm all better.
There's one thing that's worth pointing out. I don't mean to discredit Mary, because Mary did do a lot of her own stunts, but she did have Ramona had a stunt double. Yeah. But as is the case, because it was like a Hong Kong stunt team, and as is the case, it was Jackie Chan's stunt team, as is the case with a lot of his films, the stunt person for Ramona was usually a man. Wives as well, which led to some very interesting encounters at the urinals where you would go in and see Ramona peeing standing up. Something stayed with me in the middle of the night.
But wait, what's a urinal?
Urinal, let's call the whole thing off.
It's a urinal from now on, buddy.
Any other questions before we start? Man.
How did you end up casting Clifton and Thomas in that for that cameo?
That's a good question, actually. I think maybe because, Thomas...
Burt Reynolds wasn't available.
I like the idea of having kind of like, I mean, Thomas I was a fan of, like, through Boogie Nights. Also, like, he's hilarious in Arrested Development, playing himself. So I was a fan of Thomas, and like, I just thought it would be fun. I knew that he, you know, having seen him in Arrested Development, you know, had a great sense of humor, and in Boogie Nights as well. So, like, I wanted him to be in it. And Clifton, I think so. There were a few other people that were mutual, like, I was friends with JJ, who was just casting in Star Trek and stuff. And I was a fan of yours as well, so it was like, I don't know, I think I was just fans of theirs, and they were both up for it. So, I knew different people that had worked with them and stuff, so yeah, that was it really. Yeah. Ladies.
Why did you decide not to make a cameo in your movie?
Too British. You heard the whole urinal thing there. At the back there.
Do you have a favorite hidden number or hidden X clue?
Well, it's funny you should say that. There was somebody who did an article about what he's referring to is that there are a number of like hidden numbers in the film, kind of inspired by, you know, oh, there he is. Kind of inspired by the books, is obviously there's a lot of numbers within the books, and I guess because Todd Ingram had the 3 and Scott Pilgrim had the 0, but the 0 wasn't your intention to make him the 0. Oh, it was. So, taking the cue from that, I decided to have Scott Pilgrim is 0, so he wears the Smashing Pumpkins 0 t-shirt, he drinks Coke 0, but then the different X's all have lots of numbers in them. And I'll try and remember as many as I can. There's so many in there that I kind of forget most of them, but Matthew Patel, which is number 1. I think if you spot the numbers, you should clap like it's Sesame Street. So you help me out here if there's any I missed, but like Matthew Patel, like it's he has 1 chevron on his.
Yeah, it was 2 in the book.
2 in the book, and we made it to 1, so it wasn't a 2, it was a 1. There's 1 chevron. Wallace says, "Hey, it's that one guy." He sort of points with 1 finger. He has 1 kind of eye visible. Wow. Then his points to like obviously he's 100. Chris Evans has 2 X's on his belt. He has a Tibetan 2 on his neck. He points with 2 fingers. He says it's going to take 2 minutes to kick your ass, and he expects 200 points. Brandon Routh has the 3 on his chest. He has like 3 stripes on his arm. I think that's probably it with Brandon. He's got a 3 all the way through his scene. Oh no, there's 3s on the garbage, on the trash cans in the alley. In the alley, in the trash cans, there's 3s on there. There might be some more in that one. Roxy, like she has like 4 rips in her tights, and the nightclub is called 4. There's 2 things with the Kat and Yanagi twins, 5 and 6. There's something about their costume that has a 5 and a 6, and I cannot remember what it is. But the main one in that is that when they turn their amps up, they turn it up to the Japanese for 11. 5 plus 6 is 11. And then the final one is just a 7 fest. Schwartzman, 7. The gum takes 7 years to digest. Well, there's loads of other 7s in that. It's like the Gideon. Yeah, the Gideon symbol is 7. What are the other 7? There's it's all 70 points. 700 points, 7 million points, 7 billion points. There's another one, right? Who am I forgetting? There's a lot of 7s. Anyway, I will try and remember the other ones for next time. But like, look out for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 throughout.
So what's your favorite? That was the question.
Oh, what's my favorite numeric? I started to sound like Rain Man for a bit. I think my favorite one is is the chewing gum one. It's going to be in my digestive tract for 7 years. Because he really bellows the 7. He really labels it. He goes, 7 years! So I think that's
Was that in the comic, or was that just the movie?
No, that was these guys.
It came from your 3 and your 0.
Oh yeah, but the 7 years.
Yeah.
The whole numbers of the different people.
Oh no, this is this guy. He's a lunatic.
He did the 0 and the 3, and that's what gave me the idea. So he gave me the idea.
On what?
What's that?
On what? Where's this?
In
t-shirts.
Yeah, in the books.
Okay.
In volume 3, he had this Smashing Pumpkin 0 and the 3 t-shirt.
Gotcha.
Okay, we just do a couple of questions, and then we got to get the show on the road. This lady.
Hi.
Forward to doing more of the books.
There's the Mr. Silly Shoes.
Oh yeah. The Misty Silly Shoes is a joke in the first book, which is, if you think about it, is impossible to do on screen. I always thought that was a great joke, but just impossible to do. So that's kind of replaced by the Ramona Doodle joke. But there's like amazing stuff. There's amazing stuff in his books that will always be better in an artwork form. Like I think the Honest Ed sequence in book 3 is always going to be something that's better in the books. There's no way of making it better than how Bryan drew it. So it's pointless trying, basically. Okay, we'll just take one more question. This lady.
Okay, very small thing. During the bass battle, Todd's and Scott's wristbands match. They're like the same. Is that intentional?
Oh, good question.
I don't think they do.
I
They're
think
reversed.
they do. I'm pretty sure they do.
You know what?
One of them's black with white stripes.
Oh yeah, they're the alternates of each other. They're alternates of each other. But I don't know whether they actually switch over now. Not intentionally. I tell you what, will you let me know after you watch the film again? And and when that bit comes up, I want you to shout, "There!" It's 35 mil, so we can't stop it and rewind it. And it will stay. Oh shit. Go ahead.
Do you think the movie did justice to the books or what?
It was a really good movie.
What does everyone like about nerdiness?
What a question.
Nerds don't
We're
care.
in this room at what, 12:30 at night on a Friday.
Yeah.
Nerdiness, right here.
I know. I think the fact that Doctor Who is cool again.
Yeah.
I think there's a little nerd in everybody.
Yeah, they don't care about being, it's like they don't care what people necessarily think about them, it's like they're not trying to be cool, and they're fucking smart, man.
Agreed. Yeah, I love you guys, and I love your passion that you have for films and for anything, I love, Comic-Con is one of the most exciting experiences because people are so passionate about what it is that they love, and it's so
That was the
exuberant.
greatest screening ever.
Yeah, it was really one of the best experiences ever. So I love being around nerds.
Nerds are vital for the long-term survival of the human race. That's what
And the only thing that we need to do now is Thomas and Clifton need to high five one more time. And start this